What's going on, guys? Darby here at GenAI University, and welcome into 2024. Our first video of the year. Had a slower December at GenAIU. Took some time here at our home in Austin with my fiance Rachel and our puppy Luna to kind of wind down, take a break for the holidays, enjoy some time with family, and get ready for the next year. And after a lot of reflecting and review on what 2023 brought to us, extremely excited about what's going to happen this year, especially in terms of where we're going with our community and what to expect from us and myself here at GenAI University over the next quarter and the rest of the year, starting with a few of our key events that are coming up in the next few months. One being on January 16th, we're going to be hosting a live workshop open to everyone for free to join and attend live. Recordings and all the resources from this workshop will be available to members of our community inside of our AI Growth Library. But on this workshop, hope you can join us live. We're going to be breaking down the fundamental process that we go through in any sort of content production, AI powered or not. Everything starts with a creative brief, and ultimately that creative brief has evolved into what I'm calling the buyer's brief, which combines things like the buyer's blueprint, which I've developed in collaboration with John Benson, one of the top copywriters in the world, and then the creative brief, which was a process I learned after a 12-week intensive course with Ron Lynch, the marketing mercenary. Completed that course, went through an incredibly valuable and intense learning experience, learning from Ron himself. Ron is known as the $4 billion man and has worked with the likes of GoPro to take them to a whole new level, companies like Samsung, and just Google Ron Lynch to learn more about what Ron has been a part of over his career. And those two things combined, as well as brainstorming questions and things to spur micro content for posting on social media, staying top of mind on relevant subjects related to what we're talking about in our audience, has been a process that we've been refining here for the past few years. And initially, when I was taking the Marketing Mercenary course, that was right around the time that, coming up on 2 years now, that we had looked at a point in our business where we were trying to figure out what's next. And one of the things that I was working on specifically at that time was putting together a cookbook that was going to turn into a real book that was filled with recipes, which back in the early days of Jasper were what we were calling these longer prompt series, or just prompts that you can copy and paste to help with getting a result. And that those recipes ended up evolving into this book, which you can see here today. You can find on Amazon, called Create Content with AI. And so this book was a incredibly valuable resource for anyone using Jasper, especially. But also what I realized that after we put all the time and had the planning on putting the time into this book, as you can see, it's a big book and it's got tons of prompts and recipes and workflows and instructions for getting started with Jasper. And we wrote it, and basically we're ready to publish just shortly after the time that ChatGPT hit the market. And so now the contents of this book are definitely geared towards Jasper, but you could use them towards ChatGPT, Claude. I'm sure you could use them in a number of other large language models, and a really sound approach to just getting started with generative AI tools as a whole. But obviously this space moves too fast for content like this to stay top and completely updated all the time. It's impossible to do that with the speed of change as things are right now. And so it hasn't made sense to go back and update this book every time there has been a new update with Jasper. Obviously, Jasper's focused more on enterprise level accounts now and going towards that market. But one of the things that came from this book was new relationships and new learnings and discoveries throughout those in our community who have joined and found what we're doing at GenAI University, formerly the AI author, to creating content with AI. And what we found in not only creating the creative brief that I developed for what turned into, at this point 2 years ago, our Cookbook Plus membership, which initially we introduced as a monthly membership. Some people signed up for a full year and continue to renew their subscriptions. This was a membership to deliver this content in advance while we're working on it behind the scenes on these different recipes, prompts, workflows, and trainings, and has continued to evolve to us hosting and sponsoring special events such as the Woman Who AI Summit and the Scale with AI Summit, and a number of other events and workshops over the past few years, from writing books to developing video production workflows to taking your own frameworks and creating to turn your ideas into impact faster. And that is what we've come to at this point, is realizing that everything is going to change, especially with AI. It's fast. You have to be able to adapt. And you have to be able to integrate AI into your workflows and into your process, especially as a creator or an entrepreneur or somebody who is maybe strapped on resources, but you see what AI can do for you and the potential of it. And you can streamline your workflow and maybe not need to hire 2 or 3 different roles because you figured out a way to make AI work for you inside of how you're delivering value for yourself and your clients. So a number of ways to use AI now to grow our business, to create better content faster. And it all starts with this creative brief, and combine that with a buyer's blueprint, which you can find similar variation of this blueprint in software form if writing software that John Benson has developed. After about a year ago right now, we launched our copy profits masterclass that I did with John Benson. An incredible deep dive into some really next level things in terms of copywriting, but also applying AI within that process. Well, fast forward 12 months, and Benson is now helping do what we were teaching there, but I can't even tell you how much faster it is. It's a great tool. It helps you develop these blueprints. To a degree, it's helping you develop like the initial blueprint. Then you got to spend time to fill it out with company information, and you want to build and solidify your blueprint inside of Benson and apply that to the different templates and workflows. And so it's a really powerful tool for that matter. We're combining that tool with our specific prompts that we've developed at Generative, and based off the process with Ron Lynch, as this is what you need to have created for the start of any effective marketing campaign. At the end of the day, you need to know what you're promising. You need to know what the problems you're solving. You need to understand your customers and your audience, and what segments of that audience are you speaking to? How many offers do you actually have? Even if you're only selling one thing, for example, SideHustle, the party game for entrepreneurs, we've ran this brief dozens and dozens of times, and refining it and developing the second version of this game, which was initially launched and funded on Kickstarter in 2019. The second edition of this game is going to be rolling out here in 2024. Super excited about it. But I realized when I was running this buyer's brief, which is what I'm calling the combination of these 2 processes and a few other special things I've added in to just get the type of content that I want from any of these starting campaigns, is identifying that maybe we're not just serving entrepreneurs with this game. Maybe we're serving people who are party game night hosts, or they're serving educators who are looking for ways to inspire, kids in their classroom and teach entrepreneurship through fun and play and a learning experience like that. And what I realized is that we've actually got way more than just 3 of those avatars, like I just said to you. Numbers of other customer segments that we could potentially target, such as HR managers and, like mastermind events for small, like icebreaker games, corporate events for hosting and getting the conversation going at these networking mixers. And so there's so many different angles that we could take with this, right? And that's what I'm getting at. And that the message that your product or your service or whatever you're bringing to the market is speaking directly to one person, you're going to have a much better time at articulating that message. But if that same message, me selling this side hustle game to an entrepreneur who's got a company, who immediately like gets the connection to this game and wants to take it to play with their friends is a different conversation than the one that I've had with educators and introducing this game into a classroom setting and developing a digital game to complement the physical game so that you can play it even if the physical editions aren't available in stores, which is what it is right now. Our game is available online for free at playsidehustle.com. And it took time to obviously develop the digital version of this game, but we continue to refine and develop that idea and why we were creating the digital version anyway, because of us going through this process of the buyer's brief and really getting crystal clear about the core offer that we are bringing to market, but then all of the different segments of that market that we can cater our message to. And so while you might have one product that serves one market, great. What are the other 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or more potential market segments that you could be completely missing entirely? Like totally not even talking to them, maybe never even considered that market might have a problem that your product is a perfect solution for. Well, that is where AI has been a massive help, not only for myself, but I've seen it for marketers and creators and entrepreneurs and business owners that are looking for ways that they can brainstorm and ideate and gain different perspective and understand different angles that they can approach how they're bringing their product to market, but not just bringing it to market, accelerating that idea into action, into making an impact. And before AI, for example, if I wanted to come up with all of the names of the names of products inside of the Side Hustle game, we would sit down and literally spend hours at a time thinking through and like all the different names and yada, yada, yada. And ultimately we ended up with the final edition of game. And it took a lot of time, but it was worth it. And we got it out there. And that was one of the things that people would say is like, how long did it take you to come up with all of these names? And quite a while. Go to the second edition of the game. Now we had access to Jasper, and mostly Jasper when that game was getting developed, but also some ChatGPT. And now the brainstorming process for coming up with those names was accelerated 100 times. And it allowed us to just get the ideas out there, then go through, pick, choose, and think about which names are going to make the most sense for this next edition of the game. And instead of 2 weeks of our time, it took a few hours and we figured out the naming and we got to move on to the next part of the project. And that's just one example from my own experience in using AI, but also now that we're onto the second edition of bringing this idea to market, we're going to be posting a lot of content on social media. We're going to be using AI to help us with coming up with that content based on our buyer's brief so that we are speaking to the different segments of our market and able to test and refine based on the feedback that we're going to be getting here over the course of 2024. So really excited about that. And I would encourage everybody, as you're going into 2024 and you're looking at your goals and how you're going to be applying AI into any aspect of your business operations, whether it's marketing or sales or writing or education, or maybe like at your finances and operations of that standpoint. When you're looking and interacting with AI, is think about all the ways that all the steps involved with the current process that you're doing here and get really, really clearly refined on those steps first. And then once you've got that outline of step A, B, C, D, E, F, G gets me this complete outcome, then you can kind of take a step back and see, okay, great. Where can AI now help me inside of this process specifically? And if you run into a roadblock, that's cool. Use something like ChatGPT 4 to ask it those questions and treat it like it is, the person on the other side of the coffee table from you who understands the problems that you might be experiencing or the process that you're trying to create or the market that you are looking to go after. But you got to give context to get the better context back. And so providing something like a ChatGPT as you're going in for preparing a marketing strategy and you have a buyer's blueprint already complete, you can say, here's the person I'm trying to target. Here is all their top 10 pain points for what they might be experiencing right now in the market. Here is what their dreams are, their fears that keep them up at night, some negative statistics. They don't want to be a part of that negative statistic. They want to be a part of the positive statistic. All these things that are going on in the minds of your market and your buyers, feeding that to ChatGPT first, and then saying, okay, great. Now take this context into mind and help me solve for X, right? Okay, now that you've got all of the problems, now can you help me with figuring out how I can include this, optimize my process for this buyer in mind, right? If we're creating content for that buyer, that's how we want to optimize it for if we're creating marketing content. But let's say you are getting stuck up on application forms to maybe book a call for you, and you're swamped with application forms and people are filling out surveys, and you're going through reading all these surveys and deciding whether or not somebody is actually a good fit for a call with you, or maybe you should put them into one of your other programs, or like maybe they're not even close to being ready to becoming a client with you, and so maybe a book is a better recommendation, or maybe they're super qualified and you want to get on the phone with them right away to make sure that everything is all good before potentially enrolling them into a program. There's buckets that people are going to fall into, and segments of your market are going to be at different stages in the buying experience. So let's just say you had a pot, like a whatever, you have an application form opening up in January for your mastermind, and you're selling it for $3,000 for the year for your mastermind. You're helping people just do something super specific, and you're really, really good at it, and you want to enroll, a bunch more people in, but only the right people, right? So once people get into that application process, now what? You have a human that's going through and manually reviewing them, assessing whether or not you need to get more information, and following up with the right people to enroll them into your mastermind or your program. Well, that is a manual process that you could certainly use AI to help you with streamlining that process. And how I would approach it right now is simple as taking a CSV download of the application submission. So the questions, the answers, that whole thing from all of your applicants, uploading that into, let's just say ChatGPT 4. But I personally would be using Claude.ai for this, because I find that Claude is right now, January 2024, is my AI of choice for assessing like this type of research and helping you with brainstorming that. So either one you do, they could both take files to upload right now. Ask the AI to simply help you with analyzing the contents that you've provided, and let it know what you want it to assist with. Whether, let's just say you want to filter through people that are meeting a certain criteria. So I want to make sure that I'm only working with people that have been established in business for 3 or more years. Maybe they're doing anywhere at least $1 million to $3 million in annual revenue, and they're wanting to grow from there. Maybe they have to be a service provider and have a proven service with a boatload of testimonials, so that you know that they're legit and they're not just out hawking some program and doing that whole thing, or whatever else you want to know. And once you input that prompt, right, you're giving the prompt of what you want it to do, then the AI is going to go and analyze the contents that you've uploaded it and help with executing each step of that prompt. And so from there, let's say you had 100 applicants and it filtered through and identified maybe the top 10 based on the criteria that you gave it that you're looking for. Said, okay, out of these 100 applicants, these 10 show the most attributes or the most characteristics or the most responses that are likely to fit your criteria. Now, maybe that process would have taken a real human 30 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours or more to go through and review everyone and analyze and assess and update each one. Well, now we're talking about a matter of minutes that you can take that information and see what they inputted and see who's the most qualified to work with you inside of this program or this mastermind. And then you can use their intake to take it a next further. Okay, great. These are the top 10. Let's go ahead and take this on to the next step of the conversation. Maybe that's an email. Maybe that is another thing that you're doing in the vetting process. Whatever that is, just think of AI as something to help speed up a very specific aspect of an already operational workflow. And so where are you already spending the time now that AI is going to help you with saving time in that specific workflow? Or if you're doing a workflow that you could do faster, that's not only going to save you time, is that workflow also part of like your sales process or your marketing process or delivering educational content or writing a book or creating a course that is going to lead to more value for your audience. Maybe it's more sales revenue for your business, and focusing on those things first, the things that are most important, and just jotting down maybe 2 or 3 right now that like come to mind that you're spending a lot of time on, the 80% of your time on, that's getting you like that, the 20% of, what the kind of results you're getting is coming from this sort of process, and analyze it and outline it, get really clear on what that process looks like. And then starting with the end in mind, we can reverse engineer that workflow that will have AI help you with optimizing that process. And you can use AI to help you with brainstorming this as well. And all of this coming down to how are we creating better content faster, and how are we using that content to turn our ideas into greater impact in the market. And so again, all of this really boils back down to who are you speaking to and who are you serving in your business, and do you have a blueprint for speaking to that person, that segment of your market specifically? Do you have a workflow? Do you have a brief that you and your team and your organization and any agency you're working with can have on hand to get a quick read through and know exactly who you're speaking to, know the language that's going to resonate with them, and create content and inform your strategy around what the market is saying and where things are trending towards right now? AI can help with giving you those actionable insights into your marketing game, and it can help you with taking those insights and making you more efficient and more productive inside of your workflows and your process. And again, what do we do with that efficiency and those gains that we're seeing from AI? Well, we can reinvest the time, energy, and resources back into other areas of our business and our lives that we want to work on improving, and continue to adapt and continue to integrate and continue to grow, because as new innovations and new creations come in the world of AI, we're only going to have new opportunities to take what we're talking about right now in this video and then improving upon that and getting better, and doing that every day with practice and consistency and a little bit of creativity and commitment to sticking with this technology to build a better world and do great things and sell our services and products to the market in an ethical way, so that we can, again, do better in the world and help more people get what they look to achieve. And of course, if we can help more people get what they are looking to achieve, what the market is looking for, that we can serve as a business or an entrepreneur, then obviously that's going to go come back to us and helping us achieve what we're looking to achieve and grow as a business. So I'm looking forward to an exciting 2024 with you and all the cool, exciting things that are going to be coming our way. Expect more content around these buyers' briefs, around psychographic segmentation, about understanding the minds of your market, and mastering not only this process in your marketing material, but how do we fit this into the entire production cycle of creating really great, outstanding content and leveraging this technology to make our marketing stand out through storytelling, through innovation, and through things that are going to put us that step ahead and keep the humans as the creators behind these machines to create really great and impactful things and to do good with this technology. So make sure that you are subscribed to us on our YouTube channel and have the notifications on so you know when we drop new videos, and make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter, the creator newsletter, GenAIUniversity.com. Subscribe there. You'll get updates for new deals, new programs, new workflows, and new discoveries that we are unearthing as we continue to research and develop new content and innovations here at Gen AI University. So until the other side, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you inside Gen AI U. Keep calming AI on. I'm Darby. Cheers.